everybody, this is Pastor Prosper Numfor, and I'm welcoming you to the Prosperity Show. Today, our topic is going to be on calling. What is your calling? Why are you here? The reason why I have this topic today is because I had a challenge at work. I had this lady that asked me regarding a talent show that we're supposed to have, and she asked me, Prosper, are you going to take part in the talent show? And I told her I'm not sure, and she asked me why. I said, I don't know what I can perform in the talent show. And she told me, maybe you can sing, maybe you can dance. And I told her I'm not a good singer and I'm not a good dancer either. So she asked me, so what talent do you have? And I told her, well, I think I can talk. I have a brain and I have a mouth and I love to talk. I love to encourage people. I love to guide people. I love to advise people and I love to challenge people based on the Word of God. And so I told her I'm going to take part in the talent show and I'll be giving a motivational talk. But then once I told her, I went back and I started thinking, what is that one talent that I have that makes everything easy for me? Your talent is a platform for your calling. Your talent is what makes your calling easy to achieve. So I'm asking you today, what is your calling? I believe that God has a calling upon each of our lives. Maybe your calling is to be a doctor. Maybe your calling is to be an engineer. Maybe your calling is to be a preacher. Maybe your calling is to be a teacher. But somehow you have a calling. Jesus, speaking in the book of John, chapter 18 and verse 37, said, "For this reason I was born, and for this cause I came." What is the reason for which you were born? And what is the cause for which you are here? That is your calling. When I talk to people severally, I hear them ask about what is your vision for life. Your calling is more than a vision. It's more than an ambition. It's more than an aspiration. You can have so many visions in your life, but I believe you can only have one calling. Every vision you have in life should be an opportunity to move you closer to your calling. So your vision is like a building block towards your calling. If you look in the Bible, God talking to Jeremiah said, "Before you were conceived in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I called you to be a prophet to the nations." So what did God call you to do? What did God call you to become? Which problem did God bring you on earth to come and resolve? That is your calling. Your calling is that one thing that you do so easily, with so much ease. And as we grow up, sometimes people have this great challenge of finding what their calling actually is. And what is the reason for this difficulty? Because society has spoken to us, has taught us, has guided us towards the direction that it wants us to go. Do you remember when you were growing up, you had all these dreams and all these passions and all these aspirations to become a doctor, to become an engineer, to become a soldier, to become a politician? So what happened to all those dreams? What happened to all those aspirations and passions? The thing is, as you grew up, society started defining you and making you what they want you to become. Society told you what you could do and what you could not do. Society injected into you fear and doubt and limitations. People started telling you, for you to be great, you have to do this or do this. So people navigated away from their calling. So today I'm coming to challenge you. I'm coming to ask you, what is that one thing that you feel in your heart that you are supposed to do? Until you do that thing, you wouldn't find peace, you wouldn't find joy, you wouldn't find satisfaction. I've seen a lot of people that are pretty much successful. They have PhDs, they have education, they have money, they have a career, they have a job, but they are still not satisfied. You wonder why I have this book with me? The title of the book is Money is the Gravy. And I had an opportunity to read this book, and the author of the book explains how he had a good job, but he never found satisfaction until he resigned from that job to follow his calling. So what is your calling? What is it that God has put you here on earth to do? It is Martin Luther King Jr. who said, unless a man has discovered the reason for which he should live and die, he is not worth living. What is that one thing that you are ready to live for and to die for? That is your calling. And like I told you before, I came to discover that my calling was to talk, was to encourage people, was to advise people, was to challenge people, was to guide people. So what is your calling? I believe that if everybody was going to default to their calling, we would have a happier society. We'll have people in a society that are more fulfilled. We'll have even a more advanced society. Why? Because everybody will be doing what they are best at, not what gives them more money, not what makes them famous, not what gives them power. Everybody will be doing just what they were born to do. The reason why people are struggling in the fields in which they are found is because most people have left their talent buried and they are struggling in areas where they are not supposed to be just because they want to make more money. Is money a problem? No. Is power a problem? No. Is fame a problem? No. But if you start off by pursuing money, by pursuing power, and by pursuing fame, you end up most likely losing your calling. But I can almost assure you that if you start off by pursuing your calling, money is going to follow, power will follow, influence will follow, and everything else that you can think about. Think about the few people that you've heard about. And I know there's a lot of changes that have taken place in the world, but I can tell you that those changes have been brought by just a handful of people. Think about somebody like Martin Luther King Jr. He lived and died to save the black man in America. Think about Nelson Mandela. He spent more than 2 decades of his life in prison because he wanted to fight and kill apartheid in South Africa. And those people succeeded. Your calling is that one thing that God has destined for you alone to do. And if you don't do that, nobody else may do it. So today I am challenging you. I'm asking you, what is your calling? What were you born for? And what are you ready to die for? What are you ready to pay the ultimate price for? That is your calling. No matter how successful you may be, I want to challenge you to go back and talk to yourself, talk to God, and ask yourself, what is your calling? Until you find your calling, I can almost assure you that you will not be a happy person. You will not be a satisfied person. You wouldn't live a fulfilled life. When you shall meet God and He asks you, what did you do with the talents that I gave to you? Like He did in Matthew chapter 25. You should be able to give Him an account. Do you bury your talents? Or do you multiply your talents? Because your talents, like I said, are building blocks towards your calling. Thank you for listening to me today. Again, this is a prosperity show. I look forward to having another time with you. But ask yourself the question again. Why are you here? What is your calling? Remember, you were born to prosper. God bless you.